sighed Maisie, a lazy bird hatching an egg. I'm tired and I'm bored. I have kinks in my legs from just sitting here, day after day. It's work. How I hate it. I'd much rather play. I'd take a vacation. I'd fly off for a rest. If only I could find someone to sit on my nest. If I could find someone, I'd fly away free. Then Horton, the elephant, passed by her tree. Cried the lazy bird, smiling her best. You've nothing to do, and I do need a rest. Would you like to sit on the egg in my nest? The elephant laughed. Why, of all silly things, I haven't feathers. I haven't wings. Me on your egg? Why, that doesn't make sense. Your egg is so small, ma'am, and I'm so immense. Tut, tut, answered Maisie. I know you're not small, but I'm sure you can do it. No trouble at all. Just sit on it softly. You're gentle and kind. Come on, be a good fellow. I know you won't mind. I can't, said the elephant. Please, said the bird. I won't be gone long, sir. I give you my word. I'll hurry right back. Why, I'll never be missed. Very well, said the elephant, since you insist. You want a vacation? Well, go on and take it. I'll sit on your egg, and I'll try not to break it. I'll stay and be faithful. I mean what I say. Toodaloo, sighed Maisie, and she fluttered away. Now the first thing to do, murmured Horton. Let's see. Well, the first thing to do is to prop up this tree and make it stronger. That has to be done. Before I get on it, I must weigh a ton. Then tenderly, carefully, gently, he crept up to the nest where the little egg slept. Then Horton the elephant smiled. Now that's that. Then he sat and he sat. He sat and he sat. He sat all that day and he kept the egg warm. He sat all that night through a terrible storm. It poured, it lightened, it rained, it thundered, it rumbled. This isn't much fun, the poor elephant grumbled. I wish she'd come back because I'm cold and I'm wet. I hope that Maisie bird doesn't forget. But by this time Maisie was far beyond reach, enjoying the sunshine way off in Palm Beach, and having such fun, such a wonderful rest. She decided to never go back to her nest. So Horton just sat there day after day, and soon it was autumn, and the leaves blew away. And then came the winter, the snow and the sleet, and icicles hung from his trunk to his feet. But Horton kept sitting there, achoo, and said with a sneeze, I'll stay on this egg, and I won't let it freeze. I meant what I said, and I said what I meant. An elephant's faithful, 100%. So poor Horton just sat there the whole winter through, and then came the springtime with troubles anew. His friends gathered round and they shouted with glee, Look, there's Horton. He's up in a tree. They taunted. They teased him. They yelled, how absurd. Oh, Horton the elephant thinks he's a bird. They laughed and they laughed and they all ran away. And Horton was lonely. He wanted to play. But he sat on that egg and he continued to say, I meant what I said and I said what I meant. An elephant's faithful. 100%. No matter what happened, this egg must be tended. Poor Horton's troubles were far, far from ended. While Horton just sat so faithful, so kind, 3 hunters came sneaking behind. He heard the men's footsteps. He turned with a start. 3 men were looking right at his heart. Did he run? He did not. He stood on that nest and he held his head high as if much to say, take me if you must. I won't run away. I meant what I said, and I said what I meant. An elephant's faithful, 100%. Well, the men didn't know, much to Horton's surprise. They put down their net and stared with wide eyes. Look, they shouted, could it be such a thing? An elephant sitting on top of a tree? It's strange, it's amazing, it's wonderful new. We'll catch him. That's just what we'll do. We'll take him alive while he's terribly funny. We'll send him back home. We'll sell him to the circus for money. And the first thing he knew, they had built a big wagon with ropes on the front of the pullers to drag in. They dug up his tree and they put him inside, with Horton so sad that he practically cried. We're off, the men shouted, and off they went with Horton unhappy 100%. Up out of the jungle, up into the sky, up over the mountains 10,000 feet high. Then down the mountains and down to the sea went the cart, the elephant, egg, nest, and tree. And then out of the wagon and onto a ship out over the ocean. And ooh, what a trip. Rolling and tossing and splashed with the spray. And Horton sat day after day. Ooh, I meant what I said. Ooh, and I said what I meant. But oh, I'm seasick. 100%. After bobbing around for 2 weeks like a cork, they landed at last in the town of New York. All ashore, the men shouted, and down with a lurch went Horton the elephant, still on his perch. Tied onto a board that could just scarcely hold him. Bump! Horton landed. And then the men, they sold him. Sold to a circus, then week after week, they showed him to people at 10 cents a peek. They took him to Boston, to Kalamazoo, Chicago, Weehawken, and Washington too, to Dayton, Ohio, St. Paul, Minnesota, to Wichita, Kansas, to Drake, North Dakota. And everywhere, thousands of folks flocked to see the elephant up in a tree. Poor Horton grew sadder the farther he went, but he sat there in the hot, noisy tent. I meant what I said, and I said what I meant. An elephant's faithful, 100%. Then one day, the circus happened to reach a town way down south, not far from Palm Beach. And a dawdling along way up in the sky, who of all people should chance to fly by but that good-for-nothing old Maisie bird, still on vacation, still just as lazy. And spying the flags of tent just below, she sang out, oh, what fun! I'll go to a show. And swooped in from the clouds through an open-door tent. Oh, good gracious! Yes, Maisie, I've seen you before. Poor Horton looked up with his face white as chalk. He started to speak, but before he could talk, there rang out the noisiest, ear-splitting squeaks from the egg that he sat on for 51 weeks. A thumping, a bumping, a wild life scratching. My egg, shouted Horton. My egg, it's hatching. mine, screamed the bird. When she heard the egg crack, the work was all done. Well, she wanted it back. It's my egg, she sputtered. You stole it from me. Get out of my nest. Get out of my tree. Poor Horton backed down with a sad, heavy heart. Very instant, the egg burst apart, and out of the pieces of the red and white shell, from the egg that he sat on so long and so well, Horton the elephant saw something whiz. It had ears and a tail and a trunk, just like his. And the people came shouting, "What's all this about?" They looked and they stared with their eyes popping out. Then they cheered and they cheered and they cheered more and more. They'd never seen anything like it before. My goodness, my gracious, they shouted, my word, it's something brand new. It's an elephant bird. And it should be like that. Because Horton was so faithful. He sat and he sat. He meant what he said, and he said what he meant. And they sent him home happy. 100%.